Hello, and this is Contemporary Black Voices, and my name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and this is our Hot Topics segment. Sitting with me today are Caleb Alexander, Chris Dawkins, and Mario Solace. So we got a full house today. And we also have a full list of topics to consider for discussion. One, we are going to talk about Trump and RFK's claims regarding autism. We're going to talk about old diseases coming back, kind of in relation to the vaccines and others. We're also going to look at the cost of economic boycotts. And another thing we're going to talk about is Kamala Harris's book, 107 Days. And you had something you want to talk about also?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at the end, we could just throw in a little bit of international news. So there's a little bit going on in the Sahel states with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. We can throw that out there at the end.
Okay, so let's start talk about RFK and Trump's claims about what causes autism. And also I'm going to talk about Holly Robinson Pete. And I'm also going to talk about a relative of mine who's autistic. But, you know, we are really in a situation here to where we've got two people with no medical backgrounds. Also, Dr. Oz was in there, and I questioned him as well. But anyway, we got two out of the three who have no medical backgrounds, and they have decided that the cause of autism is taking Tylenol. And Tylenol came out and said that what they're saying has not been really proven scientifically. A lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, even Holly Robinson Pete, she has come out and say, talk to your doctors. They understand what's going on with your bodies. But Tylenol, when it was launched distributed in 1955, it was really designed as a children's pill. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, it was really a children's pill, and the box was real cute. And then later on, it became the painkiller. They adopted the medication to where for adults for relieving pain. Autism itself was not diagnosed until 1943 at Johns Hopkins University. So 1943, autism, 1955, Tylenol. But RFK and them are claiming that Tylenol is the cause of autism.
I wonder what shooting yourself up with heroin causes.
Mm-hmm.
So Holly Robinson Pete, I forgot she was one of those old school actresses, but her child, she's a black woman. Her child has autism, and her biggest concern about this autism discussion is the lack of representation of who are autism patients. Also, the stigma behind autism, especially within the Black community. Now, I do have a relative who has autism. Mm-hmm. She is thinking she's going in second grade now. But her mother really got involved in her caretaking, where she's a teacher, and she made sure that she had all the services that she needed to help her daughter. In addition, she has made sure that just because her daughter is autistic, that there's nothing to prevent her from doing things as quote unquote a normal child can do. So she's playing classical piano. She's dancing on a dance team. In fact, this team is going to Carnegie Hall later this year, and I think she's the captain. She's a beautiful child. Also, a lot of people don't realize that Trump was saying that, RFK said that people who are autistic do not contribute to society as adults. There are a lot of companies who hire autistic people because once they focus on something, they hang on to it until the problem is resolved. So there is a stigma about autism. I have some personal opinions I'm not going to share as to why this topic is being discussed a lot, but I have to go along with Holly Robinson Pete. Stop stigmatizing these kids, because they can become very much contributors to society. Thoughts?
I'll jump in. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, whatever. But, you know, I'm back to being reminded of Adolf Hitler again, when he would start attacking people with disabilities, saying they weren't fit to be human beings and they were a drag on the society. And of course, he eliminated.
He killed them, yeah.
He killed them, yeah. So for RFK, some people call him JFK too, but anyway, RFK, for him to say something like that, or anybody saying something like that, it talk about stinking of Nazism. That stinks of Nazism. Almost the same exact thing, but it doesn't surprise us. I mean, we've talked about that before. The playbook at work here is very similar to Hitler's playbook. And for saying something like that, right, somebody will say, hey, they're calling Trump Hitler on the show. I didn't say that. I said the policies he's pursuing are related.
Hitler-esque.
Or Hitleresque, like burlesque, right?
Right.
Burlesque.
And you know, working with, having worked with these kids, they are interesting. I'm not going to lie, they are very interesting to watch and work with. I've had one, again, he became so focused on what it is that he was trying to investigate, he completely sounded out all the noise around him, because this was his interest at that point in time.
Well, you know what, though, Sharon? Probably all professors are like that anyway.
Well, the question I have is that those kids who are autistic, that society has said is autistic, there are different stages, or not stages, but different types of autism. Everybody is not the same. So when they talk about that the Tylenol is causing an issue with autism, are they saying all autism? Or are they saying, a specific type of autism? Because, of course, they've done the research, not.
Right.
So they should at least be able to tell us which autisms does it affect, or which ones don't it affect.
You can't ask RFK, he don't know.
That's my point. But
Dr. Oz was trying to promote a drug that he is trying to sell. So they're using autism as part of the grift.
Right. No, I mean, it's a distraction. It's like, you know what? We buried Charlie Kirk. We need something else now. I mean, they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna go from one incident, sometimes created, sometimes not created. They're gonna go from one thing to the next to keep from talking about the Epstein files. That's what that is. But the idea that something that was invented well after autism was first diagnosed, it's ridiculous. I mean, did Tylenol invent a time machine and go back and start passing out Tylenol in the 40s or the 20s or whatever? I mean, it's just ridiculous on its face.
Well, I had a friend who his son had autism, and all the time while the kid was young, it was autism. But now that kid, first of all, the kid was almost like a genius. He could recite and tell you anything that had happened in the NBA. He loved basketball. He could tell you anything that happened in basketball, how those things went, etc.
Right.
But now, him as an adult, he has no signs of that, and he cannot kind of recollect or bring those things like he did when he was a younger age. Which is why I go back to the fact that all people who are deemed with autism are not all the same.
No,
Absolutely not.
that's
So
right.
yeah, there are different levels. People are on the spectrum, different levels on the spectrum.
Sure.
And even initially, you have some kids that are verbal, some kids that are non-verbal, some kids that have tremendous learning ability, some kids that not so much. And so it's different levels.
And I think that's what we've got to be cautious about is lumping everybody into one. They saying that this Tylenol.
You know, RFK will have an answer for that. He'll come up with something like, oh, that lady took like 8 Tylenols. And that's the one that's really bad autism, and the lady only took 2. Well, that's what
that's mild. Something
no
ridiculous.
Scientific evidence to show that.
And then the thing is, though, they have researched this for decades, and there's been no scientific link between Tylenol and autism.
No,
and this is for decades.
And that's been peer reviewed.
Yes.
And I guess RFK doesn't know what peer review is.
No. Well, let's move on to the next topic. Old diseases coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We've got measles coming back. I've heard about whooping cough coming back. Polio is coming back. So what is going on here? And again, this issue about the measles shot and the rubella shot, and we're seeing a rise in that. Don't take it, don't take it, don't take it. But I think now a lot of people are realizing, I'm going to go to my doctor and listen to what my doctor is saying. I think all of us on this, I don't know about you, Mario, but a lot of us were inoculated before leaving the hospital. You know?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You know, and I think we're okay.
I've had every shot you can think of.
Did they-
Shingles, smallpox, whatever. I've had them all.
Did they have something here called Sabin on Sunday, where everybody lined up and you drink this little drink? It was kind of like a vaccine. It was probably around.
We had cubes.
A sugar cube.
We had sugar cubes.
No, we had something. I think it was liquid when I was young.
They probably had different forms of the polio. You're talking about polio one.
I don't know what it was. All I know is
Polio.
it was on a Sunday, and we had to stand in line, and everybody got a little cup, and you drank it, and that was it.
That was something
Before
they
the
were doing that to y'all up in the north.
Right.
Before the sugar cubes, there was that really hard shot where you can older people got big old thing right there.
Right.
But then they did sugar cubes.
The
And then
smallpox vaccination.
yeah,
I remember getting that too, and I had that thing on me also.
yeah, and then the vaccinations got more sophisticated.
So what should we do with these new diseases, or not new diseases, but the old diseases that are coming back? And I'm sure that this is a result and is only going to get worse because of the lack of leadership that we have in the CDC and the health department.
Oh, there's leadership, all right, but it's fake leadership.
I'm always a proponent of talk to a doctor, talk to a nurse, because I know like in a lot of these churches, especially in black churches, because I haven't seen them in white churches, okay? But in predominantly with black churches, they got a team of nurses usually working back there in the church. So that if you don't have a doctor, right now, find out who the nurses are in the church and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know of the name of the Black Nurses Association here in San Antonio, but again, get with those church nurses and they'll let you know. I believe in the vaccines.
Me too.
I took, and I'm going to say it now, I took the COVID shot. I lost 1 friend who didn't take it, and 2 who did take it, and they were married, but they died in 2 separate hospitals about a week from each other.
No.
The one who didn't take it wanted to take it in the hospital, but it was too late. He was already, he couldn't take it. So, I know that taking the shot, taking the jab is a personal opinion, but think about it also. What's the risk to the kids?
There's a big risk to the kids because we've got so much research that we have accumulated over the years. I know my grandkids, if they had an issue, I'm going to see that they get vaccinated, okay? And I'm going to find a doctor who either will do it or we go out of the country and get it done, because in my mind, everything that's been done through my lifetime has proven that it's been effective.
Right.
And the other thing you got to consider is how much crowding we're seeing more and more, okay? I'm talking about if you go on an airplane, it's tight up in there. You don't know who this person is sitting next to you,
Right.
right? They're coughing and all kind of stuff, right? You don't know. You're talking about just the crowding, standing in line.
Different droplets of spit floating through the air.
You go to the grocery store and you're looking around for the
wipes.
the wipes just to wipe up. You just don't know. And then I know that during Fiesta, I quit going to the Fiesta activities because it was just too many people. And when you got too many people and they're all over you,
I'm leaving when
as
there's
the
too many
kids
people.
say, you don't know what type of cooties you're picking up. So you got to do whatever you can to protect yourself and protect you. You protect yourself, you protect your family.
Cooties.
I ain't heard that
there
word
are
in a long
risks.
time.
Well,
Cooties.
well,
That's the official medical term. I want you to
one last thing on that. The flu shots are out now.
Yeah.
I went to Walgreens yesterday and they told me I don't need an appointment, just come in and get it. So I'm gonna go get my flu shot.
That and shingles. Have you ever
I got that one.
I got that.
I got there's two of them.
Because I had shingles.
The problem
that's bad,
is,
isn't it?
in order for vaccines to be effective, you have to have herd immunity. And when you have 50% of the country who have taken on this anti-intellectual streak, who are against medical advice, who are against scientists and professionals who have spent their life researching this, we're in trouble. Just to be honest, we're in trouble. You have half the countries who don't believe in medicine or vaccines, and that's unsustainable.
In closing on this topic, the only thing that I would say is that all vaccines are not equal. I think, as Sharon pointed out, taking like the COVID vaccine is strictly a personal decision. I can remember, in the controversy we had during COVID, whether you take the vaccine or whether you don't take the vaccine.
And some of them may be 95%
Right.
effective, 90%,
Right.
70%.
Right. And then you've got those people who, I think you mentioned that maybe they took the vaccine and, something happened to them. Some other people took it, nothing happened to them. So those type of things to me is out. But there are other vaccines that I think that are necessary that we should and must take.
Well,
I don't want smallpox.
some of us can eat an apple and get sick, far as that goes. Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And every medication has a risk. There's no medication that doesn't have a risk.
Okay. Let's go on to our next topic, the cost of economic boycotts. So, okay, the historians in the group, Mario, what was the cost of the Montgomery bus boycott? Do you know the financial cost?
Offhand, I don't know the number, but I know the boycotts are very helpful. Just ask the Montgomery bus.
Yeah,
The Montgomery bus.
because it was
company.
It was a year long.
Yeah, ask Disney when they got rid of Jimmy Kimmel, $4 billion, almost $4 billion, or
In 4
more than
hours.
that now.
Yeah.
Overnight, yeah.
They say more than that now.
And then, of course, Target is still hurting.
Walk into any Target. I did it not too long ago. There ain't nobody in there. I mean, oh my goodness.
So there is a cost to economic boycotts. Of course, I was hanging around in Twitter, not Twitter, TikTok, and people were realizing I don't have to go out and march. I can just
Is
sit
there
home.
another boycott against Sinclair? I
It's
think somebody said that.
They relented. So Jimmy Kimmel came on yesterday on the Sinclair stations.
So
And-
Sinclair gave it up?
Yeah.
And
So they're
what was the other name of the company? Nexus or something?
Yeah, I think it's Nexus and
Or
Sinclair.
something like
and CBS is the one to watch. It's because whoever owns CBS, because what's his name, Corbett, was on CBS.
Right. Well, he's gone
So,
at the end of the year, right? Is it the end of the
He's
year?
coming back, or he's already?
No, Colbert. He's back, but they gave him till
Yeah.
they're canceling the show.
They canceled, yeah.
Who are they going to put on there? RFK?
You.
and then let's go ahead. We got one more thing to talk about, and I'll give it to you. I didn't bring the book in, but Kamala Harris' 107 Days came out. Some interesting things in that book where she's telling, I'm proud of her for telling her story. 107 days was the length of time for her campaign and up until the elections. She talks about some conflicts in the White House. She felt that she talks about why she didn't select
Pete
Bu-
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg for vice president. She basically saying that
But that was her pick.
that was her pick, but she felt that the country wasn't ready to have a black president plus a VP who was homosexual. The other person that she talked about was
Governor.
the governor out of Pennsylvania, and Shapiro. He had things in mind as to what a VP was supposed to do, and she didn't feel that he was mature enough to understand the role of VP. So she looked at her pick, and he's doing well. But it's an interesting book, interesting read.
I'm going to push back and say I'm not so sure. I have nothing against her doing a book. However, some of this stuff, and especially at this time in our country, do we need that? Do we need to know what went on in the White House? Especially from a Democratic side, we are already so much divided already. I don't know that I want to know about that stuff, and especially at this particular time.
I think she should have waited on that.
I agree.
Myself. Because some of the things in there, like about Biden,
Right.
things about
Right.
are going to cause some Democrats to say she's crazy
Right.
for bringing that up
Right.
now.
Right.
The main enemy is Trump. What's wrong with her doing? Why is she doing that now?
Right.
She just want to be heard, ego tripping as
Right.
usual. That's the criticism, and there's some, in my mind, legitimate argument that way.
I don't think she does herself any good at this particular point, because she's saying to a certain degree, I'm telling you what happened, but subliminally, she's saying it wasn't me.
No, but you know what? At the same time, right? So me also as a historian, it's something we draw lessons. We often compare this administration to the administration in Germany, right? Much is to be learned. And so you have an election that's coming up. You have midterms that are coming up, right? And then after that, you have a presidential election that's coming up shortly after the midterm. So for her to write this book right now and for it to be circulated, gain enough a wide enough circulation, I think it provides a lesson for people who are going to run in the future. It provides a lesson for the Democratic Party that said, this is the mistakes that we made, and this is why we made these mistakes. We can't make these same mistakes going forward. Because
That's a good point. That other side of that.
But I'll say there's some things that you don't have to make public to really get your point out. In her interview, she talked about how she mentored other people. Those people who ran for governor in Mississippi and maybe Alabama and some other places like that, how she called them and they talked about different things. To me, that's perfectly okay. But to be able to try to use this, because it's almost like being a snitch, so to speak, by saying what she's talking about Biden, and maybe if he had made a decision earlier, I don't want to rehash that.
Well,
it needs to, because then maybe in the future, again, you have to. People are gonna say they might call it the Biden lesson. You know what I mean?
When he gets to be 78 or 80, we're kicking him off the show.
But one of the things I looked at here was this: to everybody's point, should she or shouldn't she? Basically, it's a blueprint. I think the biggest thing is administration's transparency. When you've got somebody in who's thinking about running again, and they're not physically able, do you continue to support that person, or do you say, look, we got to take you. You can't run, and that was something that all of us was wondering, and and had they had been honest, she could have had more time.
But what's bigger than her book right now?
What's
the
that?
guy running for mayor of New York.
Oh, yes. Adani or whatever.
Yeah.
Mandani.
Because the Democrats who see the only way to defeat the Trump folks is to get mean.
Yeah.
He's mean.
Yeah.
And many of the Democrats realize we can't win no election with Kamala Harris. We can't win no election with Newsom is good.
Yeah.
And the guy in New York's good.
Yeah.
Because they're taking that
Yeah.
They're taking the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
Everybody else is still soft pedaling.
Yeah.
And some Democrats are saying you ain't going to beat the Republicans by soft pedaling. We can't deal with Kamala Harris's soft pedals no
Right,
more.
right.
Michelle Obama's soft pedals. We can't deal with that no more.
Yeah.
The guy in New York, he's willing to hit them head on. And I think that's the new Democratic Party.
It needs to be.
If they want to win, that's the new Democratic Party.
To the manosphere, right? In this country, what's macho, what's not. Laying down is not macho. So you have this new movement of this manosphere out there who are looking for fighters. And to them, that was Trump's appeal. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a dummy, but he's a fighter, right?
This is off the subject, but did y'all hear that they were talking about having an MMA show or fight on the White House ground?
Oh yeah.
You know what?
fighting
I wouldn't be surprised.
They're going to build a cage on the White House ground and let these people fight.
Like who? Hogan? Or, no, he's gone.
Plus, you got to remember that the park was.
I don't know the MMA guy.
Sam Bondi and Patel.
No, you know,
With this
That would be
administration,
good.
what was the name from the Department of Education, McMahon?
Linda McMahon.
You know, they're part of that.
Yeah.
That stuff.
No, I'd like to see Trump have it out in the ring with somebody. the Rock's daughter. I'm sure she'd whip him too.
Okay, we
yeah.
got a few minutes to go for
Oh,
what's
no,
going
so-
on across the water.
Quick. So Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Alliance of Sahel States, they just made an enormous move. They just approved the formation of a confederal parliament, right? Huge step towards regional integration. The first steps. So when you talk about unity and combining these governments, that's a huge, enormous first step, a combined parliament.
Before you go any further, you used a word about the area that, huh?
The Sahel?
Yeah, what is that? Tell me what.
So those are the states, I guess, Central West African states that are kind of centralized around roughly the Sahara Desert area. So that's kind of what they consider the Sahel.
Okay,
It's not the coastal area, not North Africa, but between the coastal area and North Africa.
thank you.
So you have another thing that they did was they officially left the ICC. So no longer they're no longer under the jurisdiction of the ICC,
Good.
the International Criminal Court. So they say that they don't get a fair shake in the ICC, and it's of course it's two different standards between nations in the global South, whereas nations in the global North, completely different. You know what I mean? So they officially left that. Two enormous moves. Move towards unity, move towards African agency, and it's really sparked a lot of a wider movement across the country. So it's
So what's going to happen with, we see some of these countries aligning very closely with China, and China investing money into those countries. We see America declining. We ain't doing nothing really international except running our mouth.
right.
So my question is does those countries acquiescing or taking the money from China, does that affect them at all? Affect them negatively?
So a couple of things. No. So China, because China's had a little bit of an economic stumble, right? They're not investing as heavily as they once were.
Okay.
They are still investing. Now China's invested. They just announced a $10 billion investment in South Africa. They want to transform South Africa into Africa's Silicon Valley. It's an enormous investment. They just announced. The other thing is that the U.S. was major. The Kenyans told them.
Now, who was doing that? Okay. No, U.S. Okay.
What ended up happening, Kenya became what they call the strongest non-NATO ally between Kenya military equipment, everything. They were the strongest non-NATO under the Biden administration. Under the Trump administration, they just told the U.S. in a polite way, No,
No
thank you.
thanks.
Yeah, we're going to take China's money because China offered an alternative investment mechanism. They turned down the U.S. That's where we're at. That's dangerous.
And part of it, that's good, and because that's and part of the reason for that. China's not trying to charge the exorbitant rate. What does China get back? They're not. It's not like what the U.S. companies are.
True capitalism.
Yeah, we want 75% of it. And China doesn't do that, and you can't blame the countries for going with China. It's a better deal.
Yeah.
So do you see, at least I think I'm seeing it, that around the globe, people are starting to recognize Africa. They're starting to do different things within Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And we may be the slowest people as Americans
Absolutely.
acquiescing to what the power is and the resources are in Africa.
We're losing out. It's going to be it's right now the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Largest marketplace on the planet. So the biggest investor right now in Africa is Qatar, the Qataris. Again, enormous investments pouring in from the Middle East. Walmart started opening their first. Walmart is moving into Africa. That tells you something, right? There's money to be made. We are on the whole American population. We need to invest.
I'm done. Are we out of time?
Yeah, we're running out of time, but we do want to take a moment here to thank Carl Booker, who is our producer. And we also want to say thank you to our special guest, Mario Solace, I think, who is about to move into Contemporary Black Voices. I don't know yet.
Yeah, my. Something mighty strange is going on around.
But anyway, this is Sharon Michael Chadwell, and I want to say thank you for listening to us. Please leave your comments. And also remember that this is Contemporary Black Voices, where we tell our stories our way.